Hello everybody. Once again I'm before you to talk about the issues of English fluency. Why actually we people cannot get the fluency in English language? What are the issues? What are the problems? So my dear friends, the first issue is going to be there that we don't start, we don't speak, and we expect to do most. Let me repeat, we don't speak, we don't start, and we expect to do the best. We expect to climb at the peak. So first issue we have to remove, that is start. So my suggestion to all of you, we have to start first. We have to begin. We have to speak. And when we start something, when we start to speak, I'm sure day by day we are going to develop the language. Yes, my dear friends. Second issue is going to be there. That is our vocabulary. Every day, every person, the person who begins to speak, he raises the issue of vocabulary. But how we can achieve the vocabulary? How we can get the mastery on the vocabulary? We can have the mastery on the vocabulary by only one thing. That is experience. That is speaking. That is more listening. That is more reading. So as we experience the language more, we can have the great mastery on the vocabulary. Yes, my dear friends, without experience, without giving the practice, we people are not going to achieve the vocabulary. Many times, many people suggest us to develop the vocabulary. We should mug up the words. We should write those words 20 times, 30 times. But how it is possible in this context? It is not possible to remember every day that 10, 15 words. But as we use, as we read, as we speak, as we listen, day by day, gradually we can develop that vocabulary. And yes, my dear friends, third issue that everybody raises, and that is the structure of the sentence. And that is the structure of the sentence. Every language, it has the sentence structure. And when we are going to speak, we have to speak meaningful. When we want to speak that meaningful sentences, it requires one specific structure. And when we are going to discuss about the specific structure, English has also one specific structure, and that is SVOA. SVOA. Let me repeat. S plus V plus O plus A. Means that is going to be the specific structure. That is going to be the one word order. And that word order we have to follow. And yes, one more issue is there. That is using that structure at the right moment, in the right context, using that right structure. That is going to be the big issue. Then how we are going to achieve that mastery on the structures? To achieve the mastery on the structures, yes, that need of practice. So again, my suggestion to all of you, open up your mouth, give the practice to your tongue, let your lips whisper something. And once you start to whisper, once you start to speak, I'm sure automatically you will develop your vocabulary, you will develop your structures. And as you develop your habit of reading, as you develop your habit of listening, as you develop your habit of writing, I'm sure day by day, just we are going to have that the mastery on that language. Day by day, we can have the mastery on that the fluency. So what is the suggestion? Very first, start to speak, start to read, write, and that listen more. Vocabulary you will develop automatically when you start to get the experience of that particular language and that particular situation, and that the structures, once you listen, or once you start to listen, once you start to write, and once you start to read more, structure also gradually you can develop. And yes, as you keep it practicing, I'm sure in coming some days you are going to have that the mastery on the fluency. So what is my suggestion? Start to speak, read, write and listen more. You will develop your vocabulary. Just get the complete knowledge of that the structure. Use it as it is possible and keep practicing. Keep practicing. I'm sure you are going to have that the mastery on the fluency of English. So yes, if you want to be a very fluent in English, start practicing, start listening, start reading. Automatically you will develop the vocabulary. Automatically you will develop your structures, and yes, you will be fluent in the language. Thank you for listening over here. Once again, thanks to all of you.